My dear friends, imagine yourself in a garden of your own creation. This garden is your mind and the flowers that bloom. Here are your thoughts, your beliefs, and your reactions to the world around you. Now picture a weed sprouting among your carefully tended roses. This weed represents a person, a situation, or a circumstance that no longer serves your highest good. What do? Do you fight it, argue with it, or treason reason with it? No, my beloved. You simply cut it off, silently, effortlessly, without reaction. For in this world of Caesar, we are bombarded with stimuli that seek to provoke us, to elicit a reaction, to draw us into the drama of the external. But I say unto you, the power lies not in reacting, but in your capacity to remain unmoved, to cut off that which does not align with your desired state of being. Remember, the whole vast world is no more than man's imagining pushed out. If you react to every provocation, every slight, every perceived injustice, you are giving life to that which you do not desire. You are watering the weeds in your garden, allowing them to flourish and choke out the beauty you wish to cultivate. But when you choose not to react, when you cut off silently that which does not serve you, you are exercising the divine power within you. You are declaring to the universe, this has no place in my world. And the universe, my friends, has no choice but to conform to your imagination. For you are the operant power. Consider the words of Scripture, be still, and know that I am God. This stillness, this non-reaction is not passive. It is the most powerful action you can take. For in your stillness, you are affirming your true nature as the God of your reality. When you find yourself tempted to react, to defend, to explain, or to justify, well, take a deep breath and remember who you truly are. You are not a mere mortal buffeted by the winds of circumstance. You are the dream of this dream we call life. And just as in a night dream, you have the power to change the scene, to alter the script, to cut off silently that which does not belong in your ideal state. Imagine for a moment that you are watching a play. The actors on stage are performing their roles, some to your liking, others not. Now, would you leap onto the stage, arguing with the actors, trying to change their performance? Of course not. You would simply watch, knowing that it is all a play, a grand illusion. This, my dear friends, is how you must view your life. When someone attempts to provoke you, to pull you into their drama, see it for what it is, a play, a dream, an illusion. Do not react. Do not give it the power of your attention or your emotion. Instead, in your imagination, calmly and silently cut them off. Remove them from your stage. For you are the author of this play, the dreamer of this dream. But Neville, you might say, how can I simply cut off those who upset me? They are my family, my colleagues, my neighbors. To this I say, you are not cutting off the person, but the state they represent in your world. You are cutting off the version of them that does not align with your ideal. In doing so, you allow space for a new version to emerge, one that is in harmony with your desires. Remember, an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. If you persist in the assumption that you must react to every provocation, that you are at the mercy of others' behaviors, then this will become your reality. But if you assume the state of one who is unmoved by external circumstances, who cuts off silently all that does not serve, then this too will harden into fact. Think of the great masters throughout history. Did they react to every criticism, every attack? No, they remained steadfast in their conviction, silent in their power. They understood that to react is to give power to that which you oppose. To cut off silently is to reclaim your power, to assert your dominion over your world. In your daily life, practice this art of non-reaction. When someone speaks harshly to you, do not retaliate. When circumstances seem to go against you, do not complain. Instead, in your imagination, see yourself rising above it all, untouched and unmoved. Feel the peace that comes with this state of being. For in your non-reaction and your silent cutting off, you are declaring, Ani Father One. This practice may seem challenging at first. The world of Caesar has conditioned us to react, to defend, to fight. But I tell you, this is the way of the old man. We are called to put on the new man, to claim our divine inheritance as creators of our reality. And in this new state, we do not fight against what we do not want. We simply remove it from our consciousness. Imagine a room in your mind. In this room are all the people, situations, and circumstances of your life. Now see yourself as the master of this room. You have the power to rearrange it as you see fit. Those elements that do not belong in your ideal state, simply and silently remove them. Do not argue with them. Do not try to change them. Simply escort them out of your mental room. This, my friends, is the art of cutting off silently. It is not done with malice or anger, but with the calm assurance of one who knows their true identity. For you are not a mere mortal subject to the whims of others. You are a divine being creating your reality moment by moment through your imagination. But Neville, you might ask, what if these people or situations persist in my physical reality? To this I say, persist in your new assumption. Remember, the outer world is a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. As you maintain your inner stillness, as you consistently cut off in your imagination that which does not serve you, the outer world has no choice but to conform. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible. His brothers sought to harm him, to provoke him. But Joseph did not react. He cut them off silently in his consciousness, holding fast to his vision of greatness. And in time, his outer world conformed to his inner conviction. His brothers who once sought to destroy him came to bow before him. This, my beloved, is the power that lies within you. The power to remain unmoved, to cut off silently all that does not align with your ideal state. It is not a power that fights against the unwanted, but a power that simply removes it from your consciousness, leaving no room for it to manifest in your world. As you go about your day, practice this art. When someone cuts you off in traffic, resist the urge to react. Instead, in your imagination, see yourself gliding smoothly to a destination, unperturbed by the actions of others. When a colleague speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself. In your mind, cut off this version of your colleague, replacing it with one who respects and admires you. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. All that you experience in the outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. By refusing to react, by cutting off silently that which does not serve you, you are shaping your consciousness. And as your consciousness changes, so too must your world. This practice requires vigilance, my friends. The world of Caesar will constantly attempt to throw you back into reaction, into Jodiaman. But stand firm in your conviction. Know that you are the operant power in your reality. No one and nothing can provoke you without your consent. Imagine for a moment a pond. When a stone is thrown into the pond, it creates ripples that disturb the entire surface. This is what happens when you react to the provocations of the world. But now imagine that same pond, its surface as smooth as glass. When a stone is thrown, it simply sinks to the bottom, leaving the surface undisturbed. This is the state of consciousness you are called to embody. In your silence, in your non-reaction, you are declaring to the universe, I am unmoved by the illusions of the world. I stand firm in my true identity as the creator of my reality. And the universe has no choice but to conform to this declaration. But my dear friends, understand that this practice of cutting off silently is not about suppressing your emotions or denying yourself. It is about rising above them, transcending the level at which they occur. It is about shifting your identity from the reactive human to the guide of the divine. When you find yourself tempted to react, to argue, to defend, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, who am I? Am I this reactive being buffeted by the winds of circumstance? Or am I the creator of my reality, the master of my world? As you affirm your true identity, you will feel it easier to cut off silently all that does not align with your ideal state. Consider the example of Jesus when he was brought before peace. The world expected him to react, to defend himself against the false accusations. But what did he do? He remained silent. He cut off the entire drama silently, knowing that it was but an illusion, a play in the world of Caesar. He stood firm in his true identity, unmoved by the provocations around him. This, my beloved, is the power you are called to embody. The power to stand in the midst of chaos, unmoved and unshaken. The power to cut off silently all that does not serve your highest good. For in doing so, you are declaring your mastery over your world. Imagine for a moment that you are standing on a mountaintop. Below you, you can see the dramas and conflicts of the world playing out. But from your vantage point, they seem small, insignificant. This is the perspective you must cultivate. Rise above the petty provocations of the world. View them from the mountaintop of your divine consciousness. From this elevated state, cutting off silently becomes effortless. You no longer feel the need to engage with that which does not serve you. You simply remove it from your consciousness, knowing that what you do not energize with your attention cannot persist in your world. But remember, my friends, this practice is not about escaping the world or hiding from its challenges. It is about mastering the world, about claiming your divine power as the creator of your reality. It is about being in the world but not of it, as the scripture says. As you go about your day, be vigilant. Notice the moments when you feel compelled to react, to defend, to argue. These are the opportunities to practice your divine power. In these moments, pause. Take a deep breath. Remember who you truly are. And then silently and effortlessly cut off that which does not align with your ideal thought. Imagine yourself as a grand sculptor chiseling away at the marble of your life. Each act of cutting off silently is a stroke of your chisel, removing that which does not belong in your masterpiece. With each stroke, your true self, your ideal state, emerges more clearly. This practice, my dear friends, is the key to mastering your world. For when you no longer react to the provocations of the external, when you cut off silently all that does not serve you, you are truly free. You are no longer a slave to circumstances, but the master of your destiny. Consider the words of Scripture, be in the world, but not of the world. This is the state you are called to embody. You are here in this world of Caesar, but you are not bound by its rules, its dramas, its provocations. You are of a higher order, a divine being temporarily clothed in human form. As you practice this art of cutting off silently, you will begin to notice a change in your world. Those who once provoked you will find themselves transformed in your presence. Circumstances that once seemed challenging will resolve themselves from ease. For you are no longer feeding these unwanted elements with your reaction, your attention, your energy. Imagine a garden once more, but this time, see yourself as the gardener. With calm assurance, you move through your garden humor, cutting away the weeds, pruning the overgrowth, shaping the landscape to match your vision. This is how you must move through your life. Calmly, silently cutting away all that does not belong in your ideal state. But remember, my beloved, this cutting off is not done with anger or resentment. It is done with love, with the understanding that all is you pushed out. Even those elements you choose to remove are part of you, playing their role in your grand awakening. Thank them silently for their service, and then release them from your consciousness. As you master this practice, you will find yourself moving through the world with a new sense of peace, a new sense of power. The dramas and conflicts that once seemed so important will fade into insignificance. You will stand unmoved in the center of your world, the calm eye in the storm of life. But do not mistake this state for passivity, my friends. This is the most active, most powerful state you can embody. For in your non-reaction, in your silent cutting off, you are actively shaping your world. You are exercising your divine right as the creator of your reality. Imagine for a moment that you are the director of a grand play. The actors come to you, asking how they should perform their roles. But instead of giving them direction, you simply remove from the stage those whose performance does not align with your vision. This is how you must direct the play of your life. Not by trying to change or control others, but by simply removing from your consciousness that which does not serve your ideal. As you practice this art, you may find that some around you do not understand. They may try to provoke you, to pull you back into the old patterns of reaction. But stand firm in your new state. Remember, you are saved by your assumption. Assume the state of one who is unmoved by external provocations, who cuts off silently all that does not serve, and this state will become your reality. Consider the example of a mighty oak tree. When the winds blow, does the oak fight against them? Does it react to every gust? No, it stands firm, rooted deep in the earth, unmoved by the temporary chaos around it. This, my dear friends, is how you must stand in your world, rooted deep in the knowledge of your true identity, unmoved by the winds of circumstance. As you move through your day, be aware of the temptations to react, to engage with that which does serve you. These temptations will come, for the world of Caesar is designed to provoke, to elicit reaction. But in these moments, remember who you truly are. Remember your power to cut off silently, to remove from your consciousness all that does not align with your ideal state. Imagine yourself as a projector, casting the film of your life onto the screen of the world. When an unwanted scene appears, do you argue with the screen? Do you try to change the image by manipulating the projection? No, you simply change the film in the projector. This, my beloved, is how you must view your life. Do not try to change the outer world directly. Change your inner film, your consciousness, and the outer world will have no choice but to conform. As you master this practice, you will find that your world begins to transform. Those who once provoked you will find themselves transformed in your presence. Circumstances that once seemed challenging will resolve themselves with ease, for you are no longer feeding these unwanted elements with your reaction, your attention, your energy. But remember, this transformation does not happen overnight. It requires patience, persistence, and above all, faith. Faith in your true identity as the creator of your reality. Faith in your power to cut off silently all that does not serve you. Faith that as you change your consciousness, your world must change to match it. Consider the words of Scripture. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. As you practice cutting off silently, you may not see immediate results in your outer world, but have faith, my dear friends. Know that with each act of non-reaction, with each silent removal of the unwanted from your consciousness, you are shaping your world at the deepest level. Imagine a sculptor once more, chiseling away at a block of marble. With each stroke of the chisel, the unwanted falls away, revealing the masterpiece within. But this revealing takes time. It requires patience and persistence. So too with your life. Each act of cutting off silently is a stroke of your chisel, revealing the masterpiece of your ideal state. As you go about your day, be vigilant. Notice the moments when you feel compelled to react, to defend, to argue. These are the opportunities to practice your divine power. In these moments, pause, take a deep breath. Remember who you truly are. And then silently and effortlessly, cut off that which does not align with your ideal state. But my dear friends, understand that this practice is not about suppressing your emotions or denying your experiences. It is about rising above them, transcending the level at which they occur. It is about shifting your identity from the reactive human to the creative divine. When you find yourself tempted to react, to argue, to defend, pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, who am I? Am I this reactive being buffeted by the winds of circumstance? Or am I the creator of my reality, the master of my world? As you affirm your true identity, you will find it easier to cut off silently all that does not align with your ideal state. Remember, an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. If you persist in the assumption that you are unmoved by external provocations, that you have the power to cut off silently all that does not serve you, then this will become your reality. The world around you will have no choice but to conform to your new state of consciousness. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in a room full of mirrors. Each mirror reflects a different aspect of your life, your relationships, your work, your health, your finances. Now see you're turning away from these mirrors, closing your eyes, and imagining the prophetic reflection in each area of your yase. As you open your eyes, the mirrors have changed to reflect your inner vision. This, my beloved, is how you must view your world. Turn away from the unwanted reflections, cut them off silently in your mind, and hold fast to your vision of the ideal. As you practice this art of non-reaction, of cutting off silently, you may find that it becomes easier with time. What once provoked a strong reaction may barely register in your consciousness. This is a sign of your growing mastery, your deepening understanding of your true identity as the creator of your reality. But do not become complacent, my dear friends. The world of Caesar is ever ready to pull you back into old patterns of reaction. Stay vigilant. Continue to practice your art of silent removal, of non-reaction. For it is through this constant practice that you solidify your new state of being. Consider the words of Scripture. Put off the old man with his deeds, and put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. This putting off of the old man, this putting on of the new, is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process, a daily practice of cutting off silently all that does not align with your true divine self. As you move through your world, be aware of the subtle ways in which you may be tempted to react. It may not always be obvious provocation. Sometimes it may be a gentle pull to engage in gossip, to complain about circumstances, to judge others. But remember, all of these are forms of reaction, ways of giving power to that which you do not desire in your world. In these moments, practice your art. Cut off these tendencies silently in your mind. See yourself rising above them, unmoved and unaffected. For in your non-reaction, in your silent removal of the unwanted, you are declaring your mastery over your world. Imagine yourself as a king or queen, seated on the throne of your consciousness. From this elevated position, you observe the dramas and conflicts of your kingdom, but instead of engaging with them directly, you simply decree their removal. This, my beloved, is how you must rule your world. Not through force or reaction, but through the calm, silent exercise of your divine authority. As you practice this art, you may find that others begin to notice a change in you. They may comment on your newfound peace, your unshakable calm. Do not be swayed by their observations, whether positive or negative. Remember, you are not doing this for the approval of others, but for the alignment of your outer world with your inner ideal. Consider the example of a master pianist. When a wrong note is played, does the pianist stop and argue with the piano? Does he react with frustration or anger? No, he simply continues playing, allowing the correct notes to naturally replace the wrong ones. This is how you must move through your life. When the wrong notes of circumstance are played, do not react. Simply continue to play the melody of your ideal state, knowing that the harmony of your world must eventually align with your inner song. But remember, my dear friends, this practice of cutting off silently is not about creating a perfect problem-free life. It is about maintaining your center, your true identity, regardless of external circumstances. It is about being in the world, but not of it, as the scripture says. As you go about your day, be aware of the many opportunities to practice your art. Each provocation, each unwanted circumstance is not a problem to be solved, but an opportunity to affirm your mastery. See these moments as gifts, chances to strengthen your understanding of who you truly are. Imagine a vast ocean. On the surface, waves crash and storms rage. But deep below, in the depths of the ocean, all is calm and still. This is how you must be in your world. Let the surface events of your life crash and storm, if they will, but maintain your deep, unshakable calm. For it is from this depth that you exercise your true power to shape your reality. As you master this practice, you will find that your world begins to reflect your inner state more and more. Those who once provoked you may find themselves inexplicably drawn to your calm presence. Circumstances that once seemed challenging may resolve themselves with surprising ease. For you are no longer feeding these elements with your reaction, your attention, your energy. But do not become attached to these outer changes, my beloved. Remember, your power lies not in controlling the outer world, but in mastering your inner state. Continue to practice your art of cutting off silently, of non-reaction, regardless of what appears in your outer world. For it is your consistent inner state that ultimately shapes your reality. Consider the words of Scripture, the kingdom of God is within you. This kingdom is your consciousness, your inner world. As you rule this inner kingdom with wisdom and non-reaction, cutting off silently all that does not serve your highest good, your outer world must conform, reflect your inner mastery. As we conclude this discourse, my dear friends, remember that the practice of cutting off silently, of not reacting, is not a passive state. It is the most powerful, most active state you can embody. For in your silence, in your non-reaction, you are exercising your divine right as the creator of your reality. Go forth into your world with this new understanding. Practice your art of silent removal, of non-reaction. Know that with each moment of calm in the face of provocation, with each silent cutting off of the unwanted, you are shaping your world at the deepest level. You are declaring your true identity as the master of your reality, the author of your life story. And above all, have faith. Faith in your true identity. Faith in your power to shape your world through your consciousness. Faith that as you maintain your inner calm, as you cut off silently all that does not serve you, your outer world must inevitably align with your inner ideal. For you are not mere mortals subject to the whims of circumstance. You are divine beings, creators of your reality. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding. And watch as your world transforms to reflect the majesty of your true self. What it truly means when we say, everyone lives on the surface. It may appear to be a statement of abandonment, of loss of inevitable solitude. But I tell you, it is a statement of profound truth about the nature of our reality and our journey through this world. You see, in this world of Caesar, in this realm of shadows and reflections, people come and go. Relationships form and dissolve. Even the most steadfast companions will, at some point, depart, if not through choice, then through the natural course of life and death. This is the way of the world we perceive with our physical senses. But I am here to remind you of a greater truth. You are never truly alone, for you are one with the divine, with the creative power of the universe. with what I often refer to as your wonderful human imagination. This is the God within you, and it is ever present, all powerful, and the true source of all that you experience in your world. When we say everyone leaves, we are acknowledging the transient nature of our external experiences. We are recognizing that all things in this world of Caesar are temporary, fleeting. But in this recognition, we open ourselves to a profound realization. The only constant in your life is you, not the you of flesh and bone, but the divine you, the I am that is your true self. This I am is the God within you. It is the creative power that shapes your reality. It is the awareness that observes your thoughts, feelings, and experiences, and it is the only thing that truly never leaves you. Everything else, every person, every circumstance, every material possession is but a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. Now, you might be thinking, but Neville, this sounds isolating. Are you saying we should push everyone away? No, my dear friends, that is not what I'm suggesting at all. Instead, I'm inviting you to shift your perspective, to realize that your true power, your true essence, lies within you and not in the external world. When you understand this, when you truly grasp that you are one with the divine creative power of the universe, you will never feel alone again. You will realize that you have within you everything you need to not just survive, but to thrive, to create, to manifest the life of your dreams. Let me share with you a simple truth that has transformed countless lives. Your imagination is the God within you. It is the creative power through which all things are possible. When you learn to harness this power, when you learn to live from the end, to experience in your imagination the reality you desire, you become the master of your own destiny. You see, the world around you, with all its people and circumstances, is nothing more than a mirror reflecting back to you your own inner state. When you change within, the reflection must change without. This is the law, and it is immutable. So when we speak of learning to survive alone, what we're really talking about is learning to tap into the infinite power within you. It's about realizing that you are the operant power in your world. You are the one who decides what your experience will be, regardless of external circumstances. Now, let's delve deeper into this concept of being alone. In the world of Caesar, being alone often carries negative connotations. We're told that humans are social creatures, that we need others to thrive. And while it's true that relationships and connections can enrich our lives, it's crucial to understand that true fulfillment, true peace, true power comes from within. When you learn to be comfortable in your own company, when you learn to rely on your own inner resources, you become invincible. No external circumstance can shake you because you know that you carry within you the power to change any situation, to create any reality you desire. This is what it means to truly survive alone. It means to stand firm in the knowledge of who you really are, a divine being, one with God, possessing infinite creative power. It means to live from that state of awareness, to operate in the world from that unshakable foundation. But how do we achieve this state? How do we come to this realization and begin to live from it? The answer, my friends, lies in the practice of what I call the law. This law is simple yet profound. Imagine the reality you desire, feel it as real, and it must come to pass in your external world. You see, your imagination is not some fanciful, idle daydreaming. It is the very workshop of creation. When you imagine, you are engaging the God within you. You are exercising your divine creative power. And when you couple that imagination with feeling, when you feel the reality of what you've imagined, you set in motion the forces that will bring that imagined reality into your physical experience. This is how you not only survive but thrive when everyone leaves. You realize that you never needed anyone else to complete you, to fulfill you, to make you whole. You always had within you everything you needed. The people in your life, the relationships, the connections, these are all wonderful expressions of your inner state, reflections of your consciousness. But they are not the source of your happiness, your success, your fulfillment. You are the source. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Imagine a young woman who has just gone through a difficult breakup. In the world of Caesar, she might feel lost, alone, incomplete. She might believe that her happiness walked out the door with her former partner. But if this young woman understands the law, if she grasped the truth of her own divine nature, she would see the situation very differently. Instead of focusing on the loss, on the absence, she would turn within. She would use her imagination to create the reality she desires. Perhaps she imagines herself confident, joyful, and fulfilled. Perhaps she feels the reality of being in a loving, supportive relationship. Or perhaps she imagines herself thriving in her career, surrounded by friends, living a life of purpose and passion. The key is this: whatever she imagines and feels as real must by law be reflected in her external reality. This is not wishful thinking or positive affirmations. This is the operation of cosmic law. This is the creative power of God, the human imagination at work. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, isn't this selfish? Shouldn't we be focusing on others, on building relationships and connections? And to this, I say, there is no greater service you can offer to the world than to realize your own divine nature, to manifest your highest self, to live from the state of the person you wish to be. You see, when you do this, when you live from the end, from the state of your wish fulfilled, you automatically uplift everyone around you. You become a living example of what's possible. Your very being becomes an inspiration, a beacon of light in the world. Moreover, when you understand that everyone in your world is you pushed out, a reflection of your own consciousness, you realize that by changing yourself, by living from your higher state, you are quite literally changing the world. You are improving every relationship, every interaction, every circumstance in your life. This, my dear friends, is the true meaning of learning to survive alone. It's not about isolation or self-sufficiency in the worldly sense. It's about realizing your oneness with God, your true identity as the operant power in your world. It's about understanding that everything you seek, love, success, fulfillment, peace, is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Let's explore this concept further through the lens of various life situations. Consider the realm of career and success. Many people believe that their success depends on external factors, on knowing the right people, on being in the right place at the right point, on having the right qualifications or background. But I tell you, true success comes from within. When you imagine yourself successful, when you feel the reality of being the person you wish to be in your career, you align yourself with that state. You begin to think, speak, and act from that state of success. And inevitably, the outer world must reorganize itself to match your inner assumption. I've seen this principle at work countless times. I remember a young man who came to one of my lectures. He was struggling in his career, feeling stuck and unappreciated. I advised him to imagine himself in the position he desired, to feel the satisfaction and confidence of being successful in his field. At first he was skeptical, but never, he said, I don't have the experience or the connections. How can simply imagining make a difference? I told him to persist in his imaginal act, to make it so real that he could taste it, feel it, live it in his mind. Weeks later, he returned with a beaming smile. Not only had he been promoted to the very position he had imagined, but opportunities he had never even considered had begun to flow into his life. You see, when he changed his inner state, when he began to live from the end in his imagination, the outer world had no choice but to conform to his new self-concept. This, my friends, is the power you hold within you. This is how you thrive when it seems like everyone has left. When the outer world seems unsupportive or even hostile to hope, you turn within, you imagine the reality you desire, and you live from that state. Now let's turn our attention to the realm of relationships, for this is often where the fear of being alone is most keenly felt. Many of you may have experienced the pain of loss, the ache of heartbreak, the fear of abandonment. And in those moments, it can feel as though a vital part of you has been torn away. But I am here to remind you of a profound truth. No one can complete you because you are already complete. You are whole, perfect, and complete in your divine nature. The love you seek, the companionship you desire, these are all within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. When you understand this, when you live from this truth, you free yourself from the desperate need for others to fill a perceived void in your life. You become magnetic, attracting into your life people and relationships that reflect your inner state of wholeness and love. Let me share with you the story of a dear friend who grasped this truth and transformed her life. She had been through a series of unfulfilling relationships, each ending in heartbreak and disappointment. She came to me feeling depleted, wondering if she was destined to be alone forever. I asked her a simple question. Who would you be if you were in the perfect relationship? How would you feel? How would you carry yourself? I encouraged her to imagine herself as that person, to feel the joy, the confidence, the love that she would feel in her ideal relationship. At first, she found it challenging. The pain of her past experiences kept intruding on her imaginal scene. But I urged her to persist, to make her imaginal act more real than her memories of past disappointments. Gradually, she began to feel a shift. She noticed that she was becoming more confident, more joyful, more at peace with herself. She no longer felt the desperate need to be in a relationship. And then something remarkable happened. Not only did she begin to attract healthier, more fulfilling relationships into her life, but she realized that she had fallen in love with herself. She had discovered the wellspring of love within her own being. She understood perhaps for the first time that she was complete in herself. This, my dear friends, is the liberating truth I want you to grasp tonight. When you realize that you are complete in yourself, when you tap into the infinite love and power within you, you free yourself from the fear of being alone. You learn not just to survive, but to thrive in any circumstance. Now, let's address another aspect of our topic, the fear of death. For in the world of Caesar, death represents the ultimate leaving, the final solitude. Many live in fear of this moment, seeing it as the end of everything, the ultimate separation. But I tell you, death is but a transition, a shift in consciousness. When you understand your true nature as a spiritual being, as one with God, you realize death holds no power over you. Your true self, your I am, is eternal and unchanging. In fact, I encourage you to practice dying daily. By this, I mean to die to your old concept of self, to let go of limiting beliefs and negative self-images. Each night as you go to sleep, imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. Feel the reality of your wish fulfilled. Then, as you awake each morning, carry that new self-concept with you into your day. This practice of dying daily to your old self and being reborn to your ideal self is the key to personal transformation. It is how you survive and thrive in a world where everything is constantly changing, where people come and go, where nothing in the world of Caesar is permanent. Remember, my friends, that your true home is not in this world of shadows and reflections. Your true home is in the realm of imagination, in the kingdom of God within you. When you live from this awareness, you are never truly alone, never truly abandoned, never truly at the mercy of external circumstances. Let's now turn our attention to the practical application of these principles in your daily life. How do you begin to live from this state of divine awareness? How do you tap into the God within you and create the life you desire? The first step is to still your mind, to quiet the incessant chatter of your physical senses and your rational mind. This is why I often emphasize the importance of meditation and contemplation. Find time each day to sit in silence and to turn your attention inward. As you sit in silence, bring to mind the reality you wish to experience. See it clearly in your mind's eye, but don't stop at mere visualization. Engage all your senses. If you're imagining a successful career, feel the satisfaction of achievement. Hear the congratulations of your colleagues. Feel the weight of responsibility and the thrill of new challenges. If you're imagining a loving relationship, feel the warmth of your partner's embrace. Hear the words of love and support. Feel the deep sense of connection and understanding. Whatever you're imagining, make it as real and as vivid as possible. And here's the crucial part. Feel the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the sense of accomplishment, as if what you're imagining is already your reality. This feeling, this emotion, is the secret to effective manifestation. For you see, the subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, doesn't distinguish between what you're experiencing in your physical reality and what you're experiencing vividly in your imagination. When you feel the reality of your imagined state, you impress that reality upon your subconscious mind, and it begins to work tirelessly to bring that reality into your physical experience. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, I've tried this, and it didn't work. I imagined what I wanted, but nothing changed. To this, I say persistence is key. You must return to your imaginal scene night after night, impressing it upon your subconscious mind until it feels more real to you than your current physical reality. Remember, you are undoing years, perhaps decades of negative thinking and limiting beliefs. You are reversing the momentum of your old thought patterns. This takes time and consistent effort. But I assure you, if you persist, if you remain faithful to your imaginal act, it must bear fruit in your physical reality. Moreover, you must learn to live from the state of your wish fulfilled. This means aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with the person you are imagining yourself to be. If you're imagining financial abundance, start treating yourself as if you are already wealthy. If you're imagining a loving relationship, start treating yourself and others with the love and respect you envision in your ideal relationship. This is what I mean when I speak of living from the end. You don't wait for your outer world to change before you change your inner state. You change your inner state, and your outer world must follow suit. Now let's address a common concern that arises when we speak of creating our own reality. Many worry, if I'm creating my reality, does that mean I'm to blame for all the negative things in my life? And to this I say, let go of the concepts of blame and fault. These are limiting beliefs that keep you trapped in a cycle of guilt and self-recrimination. Instead, embrace the empowering truth that if you can imagine it, you can create it. Your past thoughts and beliefs may have contributed to your current circumstances, but your future is determined by your present thoughts and beliefs. You have the power right now, in this very moment, to begin creating the life you desire. This understanding is particularly powerful when it comes to healing from past hurts and traumas. Many of you may have experienced abandonment, betrayal, or loss. These experiences can leave deep scars, making it difficult to trust, to open your heart, to believe in the possibility of love and connection. But I tell you, no matter what you've experienced in the past, you have the power to heal. You have the power to rewrite your story, to create a new narrative for your life. And it all begins in your imagination. Imagine yourself healed, whole, and complete. Feel the peace that comes with forgiveness, the joy that comes with self-love, the confidence that comes with knowing your own worth. Live from this state and watch as your outer world begins to reflect your inner healing. Remember, everyone who has ever hurt you, everyone who has ever left you, was simply playing a role in the story you were telling. As you change your story, as you revise your concept of self, the characters in your life will either change to match your new narrative or they will exit stage left, making room for new characters who align with your new self-concept. This is the true meaning of learning to survive alone. It's about recognizing that you are the author of your life story. You are the creator of your reality. You have within you everything you need to create the life you desire. Now, let's talk about the concept of revision, a powerful technique that can help you reshape your past and consequently your present and future. Revision is not about denying what happened, but about reinterpreting events in a way that empowers you in alliance with your desired reality. For instance, if you've experienced a painful breakup, instead of replaying the hurt and betrayal in your mind you have seen, imagine the relationship ending amicably, with both parties wishing each other well. Feel the peace and closure that comes with this revised scenario. Or if you've lost a job, instead of dwelling on the feelings of rejection and failure, revise the scene. Imagine your former employer congratulating you on moving on to bigger, better opportunities. Feel the excitement and optimism of new beginnings. By revising past events in your imagination, you're not changing what physically happened, but you are changing your emotional response to those events. And since your emotional state is what creates your reality, this revision can have a profound impact on your present and future experiences. This practice of revision is particularly powerful when it comes to healing feelings of abandonment or betrayal. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of others' actions, you begin to see yourself as the powerful creator of your own experience. You realize that no one can truly abandon you because you are never alone. You are always one with the divine, with the God within you. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be feeling as you hear these words. You might be thinking, Neville, this all sounds wonderful, but it feels selfish. Shouldn't we be focusing on helping others, on making the world a better place? To this I say, there is no greater service you can offer to the world than to realize your own divine nature and to live a nature. When you tap into the God within you, when you begin to create consciously and deliberately, you become a beacon of light in the world. Your very being uplifts those around you. Moreover, when you understand that everyone and everything in your world is you pushed out, a reflection of your own consciousness, you realize that by changing yourself, you are changing the world. As you cultivate love, peace, and abundance within yourself, you naturally extend these qualities to everyone in your world. This is the true meaning of being your brother's keeper. It's not about trying to change others or fix their problems. It's about embodying the change you wish to see in the world. It's about living from the state of the person you wish to be. And in doing so, inspiring others to recognize their own divine nature. Let me share with you a powerful practice that can help you embody this understanding. Each night, before you go to sleep, I want you to imagine yourself as the person you wish to be. See yourself living the life you desire, embodying the qualities you admire. But don't stop there. As you imagine this ideal version of yourself, extend that same love, success, and fulfillment to everyone in your world. See everyone around you thriving, joyful, and fulfilled. Feel the happiness that comes from knowing that as you prosper, so does everyone in your world. This practice not only accelerates your own manifestation process, but also cultivates a deep sense of connection and oneness with all of life. You begin to understand experientially that there is no separation, that we are all one in consciousness. As you continue this practice, you'll find that your fear of being alone, your fear of abandonment begins to dissolve. You realize that you can never truly be alone because you are one with all of life. You are one with God, the creative power of the universe. Now let's delve deeper into the concept of states of consciousness, for this understanding is crucial to mastering the art of conscious creation. Every experience you have, every circumstance in your life, is the result of the state of consciousness you're occupying. A state is simply a mindset, a way of being. It's the sum total of your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings about yourself and the world. When you change your state, when you shift your consciousness to embody different thoughts, beliefs, and feelings, your experience must change to match your new state. This is why it's so important to mind your inner conversations, to be aware of the thoughts you're thinking and the emotions you're feeling throughout your seal. These inner conversations, these habitual thought patterns, are creating your reality. If you find yourself constantly thinking thoughts of lack, of loneliness, of abandonment, you're occupying a state that will continue to create experiences that match those thoughts. But the moment you shift your consciousness, the moment you begin to think thoughts of abundance, of connection, of divine companionship, you move into a new state, and your reality must shift to reflect this new state. This understanding is particularly powerful when it comes to dealing with the fear of being alone. You see, loneliness is a state of consciousness. It's not determined by your external circumstances, but by your inner perception of those circumstances. You can be in a room full of people and feel desperately alone if you're occupying a state of loneliness. Conversely, you can be physically alone and feel deeply connected and fulfilled if you're occupying a state of divine companionship, of oneness with God. The key then is to consciously choose the state you wish to occupy. And you do this through your imagination. By imagining yourself in a state you desire, by feeling the reality of that state, you begin to shift your consciousness. And as your consciousness shifts, your reality must follow suit. Let me give you a practical exercise to help you master this skill of state shifting. Choose a state you wish to embody. Perhaps it's confidence, or love, or success. Now, close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies you are already living from that state. Make it as vivid and as real as possible. For instance, if you're imagining the state of confidence, you might see yourself giving a powerful presentation to a room full of attentive listeners. Feel the confidence coursing through your body. Hear the applause at the end of your talk. Feel the satisfaction of knowing you've made a positive impact. Now, here's the crucial part. Carry this feeling with you throughout your day. When you interact with others, when you go about your tasks, do so from this state of confidence. Speak, think, and act as the confident person you've imagined yourself to be. At first, this might feel like you're pretending or playing a role. But I assure you, as you persist in this practice, it will become more and more natural. You'll find yourself spontaneously thinking and acting from this new state. And as you do, you'll see your outer world begin to reflect your inner state. This practice of consciously choosing and occupying states is the key to mastering your life experience. It's how you learn not just to survive, but to thrive, regardless of external circumstances. It's how you become the conscious creator of your reality. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when we discuss these principles. Many ask, Neville, if I can create my reality through my imagination, why do bad things stay? Why do I still experience loss and pain? To this I say, remember that you are in the process of awakening to your true nature as a divine creator. You are learning to use the power of your imagination consciously and deliberately. But for much of your life, you've been creating unconsciously, reacting to circumstances rather than consciously choosing your state. Moreover, you are surrounded by the thoughts and beliefs of others, by societal conditioning that often runs counter to these principles. It takes time and practice to overcome these influences and to consistently create from a place of conscious awareness. But here's the empowering truth. Even when challenging circumstances arise, you have the power to choose how you respond. You have the power to revise your experience, to find the gift in every situation, to use every experience as an opportunity for growth and expansion. This is what it means to be the operant power in your world. It doesn't mean that you'll never face challenges or that everything will always go smoothly. It means that you have the power to choose your response to every situation, to create meaning from every experience, to use every circumstance as a stepping stone to your desired reality. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to leave you with a powerful reminder. You are never truly alone. The God within you, your own wonderful human imagination, is your constant companion, your unfailing friend, your source of infinite possibility. When you fully grasp this truth, when you live from this understanding, you free yourself from the fear of abandonment, from the anxiety of being alone. You realize that everything you seek, love, companionship, success, fulfillment, is already within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed. So, my dear friends, as you go forth from this place, I encourage you to practice living from the state of your wish fulfilled. Imagine the reality you desire. Feel it as real and persist in that feeling. Know that as you do this, you are engaging the creative power of the universe. You are activating the God within you. Remember, everyone lives in the world of Caesar, but in the world of spirit, in the kingdom of God within you, you are never alone. You are one with the source of all creation, one with the power that shapes universes. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding, and watch as your world transforms to reflect the divine being that you truly are. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Let us begin by understanding a fundamental truth. Your imagination is the God within you. It is not some fanciful faculty for daydreaming or escaping reality. No, your imagination is the very workshop wherein you forge the template of your life experiences. Everything you see in your world began as a mere thought, a seed planted in the fertile soil of your mind. And just as a tiny acorn contains within it the blueprint for a mighty oak tree, so too does your imagination hold the blueprint for the grandest vision of Yori. But how, you may ask, can mere imagination bring about tangible results in the physical world? The answer lies in the nature of reality itself. You see, the world of Caesar, as I often call it, the world of physical matter and apparent solidity, is but a shadow play, a reflection of a deeper, more fundamental reality. And that reality, my dear friends, is consciousness itself. Consciousness is the only reality. Everything else, every object, every circumstance, every event, is a manifestation of consciousness. And you, in your truest essence, are that pure consciousness, that awareness that precedes all form. You are not a mere mortal being, limited by the apparent constraints of time and space. You are the eternal I am, the divine presence that speaks worlds into existence. Now, let this sink in for a moment. Feel the weight of this truth. You are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are one with it. You are it. The same force that ignites stars and orchestrates the dance of galaxies is the very force that beats your heart and fires the synapses in your brain. And this force is directed by your assumptions, your beliefs, and most potently, by your imagination. So when I say you can achieve anything, I am not speaking of some external power granting your wishes. I am speaking of you, the real Yoi I am presence within you, shaping the malleable substance of existence according to your imaginal acts. For make no mistake, every imaginal act is a creative act. There is no division between the world within and the world without. They are one and the same. Let me share with you a principle that once grasped will revolutionize your approach to life and achievement. It is the principle of the wish fulfilled. Most people in this world live in a state of wanting, of yearning, of striving towards their desires. But this very state of wanting perpetuates the experience of lack. For to want something is to declare its absence, and the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, will continue to reflect back to you that state of wanting. Instead, I urge you to adopt the state of the wish fulfilled. Do not wish for your desire. Instead, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feel as you would feel if your desire were already a present fact. For in truth, in the realm of infinite possibilities, where all time is simultaneous, your desire is already fulfilled. Your task is not to make it happen, but to align your consciousness with that reality where it has already happened. This, my friends, is the art of revision. It is the power to rewrite not only your future, but your past and your present. For time as you perceive it is but an illusion, a construct of the human mind. In the eternal now, all possibilities exist simultaneously. By revising an event, by reimagining a circumstance, you are not changing what was, but rather, you are selecting a different version of reality from the infinite array of possibilities. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Suppose you have a desire for financial abundance, but your current reality seems to be one of lack and limitation. The conventional approach would be to work harder, to strive and struggle against your circumstances. But I tell you, this is not the way. Instead, assume the feeling of wealth and abundance. Go to sleep feeling the joy and relief of financial security. Immerse yourself in the emotions you would feel if your bank account were overflowing, if all your financial worries were a thing of the past. Do this with feeling, with conviction, and watch as the world rearranges itself to match your new assumption. Opportunities will appear as if by magic. Resources will flow to you in unexpected ways. For you see, you are not creating these opportunities and resources. They have always existed in the infinite field of possibilities. By assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, you are tuning your consciousness to the frequency where these possibilities become your experienced reality. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, I've tried positive thinking before. I've attempted to visualize my goals, but nothing changed to this. I say, you have not yet fully grasped the power of your imagination. Mere positive thinking or casual visualization is not enough. You must enter fully into the state of the wish fulfilled. You must live from that state, breathe from that state, move through your days from that state. This requires a complete surrender of your current concept of self. You must die to your old self, your old beliefs, your old limitations. This is the true meaning of resurrection. It is not some future event that happens after physical death. It is a present reality available to you here and now. You can be reborn moment by consciously choosing a state you wish to embody. Let me share with you a technique that I have found particularly powerful in this regard. It is the technique of living in the end before you sleep each night. Create a scene in your imagination that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make it as vivid and as real as you possibly can. Engage all your senses. If your desire is for a loving relationship, feel the embrace of your beloved. Hear their words of affection. Smell their familiar scent. Make it so real that if you were to open your eyes, you would be surprised to find yourself alone in your bed. Then, as you drift off to sleep, hold on to that scene. Let it be the last thing in your consciousness before you enter the sleep state. For in sleep, your conscious mind relaxes its hold and your subconscious mind becomes receptive to intuition. By impressing upon your subconscious the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are planting a seed that must, by the very laws of mind, grow into your experienced reality. But remember, this is not a one-time event. You must persist in your assumption. You must live each day from the state of the wish fulfilled. This doesn't mean you ignore your current circumstances or neglect your daily responsibilities. Rather, it means that you overlay upon your daily activities the feeling tone of your desire fulfilled. You move through your day with the inner knowing that your desire is already a fact, even if your physical senses have not yet caught up with this new reality. Now let us address a common stumbling block on this path of conscious creation. Many of you may be wondering, what about my past failures? What about the evidence of my senses that seems to contradict my desires? To this, I say your past does not determine your future unless you allow it to do so. Your senses do not show you reality, they show you a reflection of your past assumptions and beliefs. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. Your physical world, with all its seeming solidity and permanence, is but a shadow, a reflection of your state of consciousness. When you change your state of consciousness, when you assume a new concept of self, the reflection must change. It has no choice. This is law. So do not be dismayed by apparent setbacks or delays. These are but the shadows of old beliefs passing away. Keep your focus on your inner world, on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. For it is your inner world that shapes your outer world, not the other way around. Let me share with you a powerful truth that, once fully realized, will free you from the bonds of limitation forever. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of external forces. You are the creator of your reality. Every experience you have, every person you encounter, every circumstance in your life is a reflection of your own consciousness. There are yourself pushed out. This means that there is no one to change but self. There is no one to forgive but self. There is no one to bless but self. For the world is yourself pushed out. When you change, your world must change. When you forgive, your world must forgive. When you bless, your world must bless. This is not philosophy. This is law. Now, some of you may be thinking, but what about other people? Surely they have their own free will to this. I say, in your world, there are no others. There is only you fragmented into seemingly separate beings. But at the core, it is all you. This is why loving your neighbor as yourself is not just a moral injunction, but a statement of fact. Your neighbor is yourself. Understanding this truth liberates you from the need to manipulate or control others. Instead, you work on yourself. You revise your concept of self. You assume the best of others because you are assuming the best of yourself. And as you do this, you will watch in wonder as the people in your life begin to reflect back to you your new assumptions. This brings us to another crucial point in our discussion of how you can achieve anything. It is the power of your self-talk, your inner conversation. Your inner conversation is your direct line to your subconscious mind. It is the means by which you impress upon your subconscious the states you wish to embody. Most people go through life with an inner conversation that contradicts their desires. They say they want success, but their inner talk is filled with doubts and fears. They claim to want love, but their inner dialogue is one of unworthiness and expectation of rejection. Is it any wonder then that their outer world continues to reflect these inner contradictions? I urge you to become aware of your inner conversation. Listen to the voice in your head. What is it saying? Is it supporting your desires or sabotaging them? Once you become aware of your inner talk, you can begin to change it. Craft an inner conversation that aligns with your desires. Speak to yourself as you would speak to your dearest friend. Encourage yourself. Support yourself. Love yourself. For you see, your inner conversation is not just idle chatter. It is the very substance from which your reality is formed. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind does not discriminate. It accepts every seed you plant and brings it to fruition in your outer world. So guard the garden of your mind. Plant only those seeds that you wish to see bloom in the garden of your life. Speak to yourself of success, of love, of abundance, of joy. Do this consistently, persistently, and you will be amazed at how your outer world begins to align with your inner dialogue. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of desire itself. For you see, your desires are not random whims or fanciful notions. They are, in truth, God's way of telling you what you can be. Every desire that springs from the depths of your being is a glimpse of a possibility that already exists within you. It is a call from your higher self, your divine self, urging you to expand, to grow, to become more. This is why I say that nothing is impossible to you. For if you can desire it, if you can imagine it, then it already exists as a possibility within you. Your task is not to make it happen, but to allow it to unfold. You do this by aligning your consciousness with the state of the wish fulfilled, by living from the end, by assuming the feeling of the desire realized. But remember, desire without expectancy is futile. It is not enough to merely want something. You must expect it. You must know with unwavering certainty that it is yours. This knowing, this inner conviction, is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It is the power that brings the invisible into visible form. Let me share with you a secret that has been hidden in plain sight throughout the ages. It is the secret of the name of God, the great I Am. When God revealed himself to Moses, he did not give a name in the conventional sense. He said, I am that I am. This is not just a statement of existence. It is the key to all creation. For you see, every time you say I am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. You are declaring your state of being, and the universe conforms to that declaration. This is why it is so crucial to be mindful of what follows your I am statements. When you say I am tired, I am broke, I am unlucky, you are defining your state of being. And the universe will provide experiences that match those states. Instead, use your I am statements wisely. Declare what you wish to be, not what you have been, or what you see in your current circumstances. Say, I am successful, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am healthy. Say these things not as affirmations to make them true, but as acknowledgments of what is already true in the realm of pure potential. For in truth, you are all these things and more. You are a multi-dimensional being, existing simultaneously in infinite states. Your I am statements are your way of tuning into the specific state you wish to experience. They are like radio dials, allowing you to tune into the frequency of a reality you desire to experience. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action in this process of conscious creation. After all, surely we can't just sit around imagining things and expect them to materialize out of thin air. To this I say, inspired action is indeed a part of the creative process. But it is not action born of struggle or strain. It is action that flows naturally from your assumed state. When you truly assume the state of the wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take actions that align with your desire. Opportunities will present themselves. Ideas will come to you. You will feel compelled to move in certain directions. This is the universe responding to your new state of being, providing the bridge of events that will lead to the physical manifestation. But remember, the action itself does not create your desire. The action is simply the outer expression of the inner change that has already taken place. This is why it's futile to take action from a state of lack or desperation. Such action is born of fear and will only perpetuate the state of lack. Instead, assume the state of your wish fulfilled and then act from that state. Your actions will then be imbued with the power of your assumption, and they will be far more effective in bringing about your desired results. Let us now turn our attention to a concept that is often misunderstood, but is crucial to your ability to achieve anything you desire. It is the concept of faith. Most people think of faith as a blind belief in something unseen, a hope for something that may or may not come to pass. But I tell you, true faith is far more powerful than this.
True faith is the evidence of things not seen. It is the substance of things hoped for. In other words, faith is not hoping for something to happen. Faith is knowing that it has already happened, even if your physical senses have not yet caught up with this reality. Faith is living from the end, feeling the reality of your desire fulfilled, even when your outer world shows no evidence of it.
This kind of faith moves mountains. It parts seas. It transforms lives. For you see, when you have this kind of faith, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are declaring your oneness with the source of all creation. And in this state of alignment, of oneness, all things become possible. But how does one cultivate this kind of faith? It begins with understanding the nature of your true self. You are not your body. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past experiences or your future expectations. You are pure awareness, pure consciousness, the I am presence that is one with the creative power of the universe. When you truly grasp this truth, when you feel it in the very core of your being, faith becomes natural. For how can you doubt when you know that you are one with the source of all creation? How can you fear when you understand that you are the operant power, the divine creative force shaping your reality? This faith, this knowing, is the foundation upon which you can build the life of your dreams. It is the rock upon which you can stand firm, even when the storms of life rage around you, for you know with unshakable certainty that you are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Now, let us address a question that often one begins to grasp the power of conscious creation. What about the seemingly random events in life? What about accidents, illnesses, or global events that seem beyond our control? To this I say, there are no accidents in a universe governed by law. Every experience, every event is a reflection of consciousness. This doesn't mean that you consciously chose every experience in your life. Much of what you experience is the result of your habitual thoughts and beliefs, many of which operate below the level of conscious awareness. But the good news is, once you become aware of this, you can begin to consciously choose your state of being, and thus your experiences. Even in the face of global events or circumstances that seem beyond your control, you always have the power to choose your response. You have the power to choose the meaning you give to events, and in doing so, you are choosing the reality you will experience. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. When you change your inner world, your perception and experience of the outer world must change. This is why two people can face the same external circumstance and have completely different experiences. It's not the circumstance itself that determines your experience, but your state of consciousness. This brings us to another powerful tool in your arsenal of conscious creation, the power of revision. Revision is not merely thinking positively about the future. It is actively reimagining past events in a way that serves your desired state of being. For you see, the past only exists in your memory. And memory, like all aspects of consciousness, is fluid and changeable. When you revise a past event, you are not denying what happened. Rather, you are choosing to focus on and embody a different version of that event, one that aligns with your desired state of being. As you do this, you will find that your present circumstances begin to shift to align with your revised past. This may seem impossible from a linear time perspective, but remember, time as you perceive it is an illusion. In the realm of consciousness, all time is simultaneous. By revising the past, you are not changing what was, but rather, you are selecting a different version of reality from the infinite array of possibilities. Let me give you a practical example of how this works. Suppose you had a difficult interaction with a colleague at work. Instead of replaying the negative interaction in your mind, revise it. Reimagine the interaction going smoothly and positively. Feel the relief and satisfaction of this revised interaction. Do this with feeling, with conviction. As you persist in this revised version, you will notice changes in your relationship with this colleague. They may suddenly become more friendly, more cooperative. You may find yourself responding to them differently, creating a new dynamic in your relationship. This is the power of revision at work. But revision is not limited to recent events. You can revise any aspect of your past, no matter how distant. If you have a belief that stems from childhood experiences, revise those experiences. Reimagine your childhood as supportive, loving, abundant. Feel the emotion of growing up in such an environment. As you do this, you will find your present circumstances beginning to reflect this new past. Now, some of you may be wondering about the ethical implications of this power. You may be asking, if I can achieve anything, does that mean I can manipulate others or cause harm to this? I say, when you truly understand the law of conscious creation, you realize that harming others is harming yourself. For there is no other. There is only the one consciousness, fragmented into seemingly separate beings. When you operate from this understanding, your desires naturally align with the highest good for all. For you recognize that what blesses one blesses all. What harms one harms all. This is the true meaning of love your neighbor as yourself. It is not a moral injunction, but a statement of fact. Your neighbor is yourself. Moreover, you cannot effectively use this law to override another's free will. Each being is a unique expression of the divine with their own path and their own choices. What you can do is assume the best in others, see the divine in them, and watch as they rise to meet your assumption. This brings us to another crucial aspect of conscious creation: detachment. Many people, when they first learn about the law of assumption, try to control every aspect of their manifestation. They become attached to specific outcomes, specific people, specific timelines. But this attachment often creates resistance and blocks the natural flow of manifestation. Instead, I urge you to focus on the essence of your desire, the feeling state of your wish fulfilled, and then detach from the specifics of how it will come about. Trust in the infinite intelligence of the universe to bring about your desire in ways that may surprise and delight you. This detachment is not indifference. It is not giving up on your desire. Rather, it is a deep trust in the perfect unfolding of your manifestation. It is the knowing that what is yours cannot miss you, and what misses you was not yours. Detachment allows you to remain open to possibilities you may not have considered. It allows the universe to work on your behalf in ways that your limited human perspective may not be able to conceive. It is the difference between trying to control the river's flow and simply stepping into the current and allowing it to carry you to your destination. Now let us address a common concern that arises when people begin to work with the law of conscious creation. Many worry about the time it takes for their desires to manifest in the physical world. They become impatient, constantly looking for signs of their manifestation, and in doing so, they often create more resistance. To this I say, time is a construct of the human mind. In the realm of pure consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. All possibilities exist simultaneously. When you truly assume the state of the wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, you have already received your desire. The time it takes for this to reflect in your physical reality is irrelevant. Moreover, this apparent time delay is often a blessing. It allows for the bridge of events to form, for circumstances to arrange themselves in a way that makes the manifestation of your desire feel natural and harmonious. Trust in this process. Know that everything is working out perfectly, even if you can't yet see the full picture. Remember, the feeling of the wish fulfilled is your aim. Once you have that feeling, once you are living from that state, you have already achieved your desire in the only place that truly matters, in consciousness. The outer manifestation is merely the shadow, the reflection of this inner reality. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to emphasize a point that is often overlooked, but is crucial to your ability to achieve anything you desire. It is the importance of gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a polite response to receiving something. It is a powerful creative force. When you cultivate an attitude of gratitude, you are aligning yourself with the abundance of the universe. You are declaring to the universe that you are ready and willing to receive more. For you see, the universe operates on the principle of like attracts like. When you are grateful, you attract more experiences that will evoke gratitude.
Moreover, gratitude keeps you in the state of the wish fulfilled. When you are truly grateful, you are not yearning or wanting. You are in a state of having, of abundance, and from this state, you naturally attract more abundance into your life.
So cultivate gratitude not just for what you have already received, but for what is on its way to you. Give thanks for your desires as if they have already manifested. Feel the gratitude you would feel if your wish were already fulfilled. This is another powerful way of living from the end, of assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. In conclusion, my dear friends, let me remind you once again of the profound truth we have explored today. You can indeed achieve anything. This is not a motivational slogan or a feel-good affirmation. It is the very law of your being. You are the operant power in your world. You are the divine creative force shaping your reality. Your imagination is God in action. Your assumptions are the pillars upon which your world rests. Your inner conversations are the scripts of your life drama. And your I am statements are declarations to the universe of who you choose to be. Remember, the world you see around you is nothing more than yourself pushed out. Change yourself, and your world must change. There is no one to change but self. There is no one to forgive but self. There is no one to bless but self.
Live from the state of the wish fulfilled. Feel the reality of your desire now. Know that what you seek is seeking you. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your manifestation. Detach from the specifics and focus on the essence of your desire. Cultivate unwavering faith, not in some external power, but in the creative power of your own consciousness. Revise your past, reimagine your present, and watch as your future unfolds in miraculous ways.
And above all, be grateful. Be grateful for what you have, for what is coming, for the infinite potential that resides within you, for you are far more powerful than you have ever imagined. You are the creator of your reality, the author of your life story. So go forth, my friends, with this knowledge burning brightly in your hearts. Know that you can achieve anything you can imagine, for imagination is the God within you, and with God all things are possible. The world is yours to shape, to mold, to create. You are limited only by your assumptions about what is possible. Dare to assume greatness. Dare to live from the state of your wishes fulfilled. Dare to be the person you've always dreamed of being. For in truth, you already are that person. You need only to awaken to this reality.
And as you do, as you step into the fullness of your divine creative power, you will watch in awe and awe as the world reshapes itself to match your new assumption. You will marvel at the synchronicities, the coincidences, the magical unfolding of events that lead you to the manifestation of your desires.
This is your birthright. This is your true nature. This is the power that has been within you all along, waiting for you to claim it. So claim it now. Step into your power. Assume the state of the wish fulfilled. And watch as miracles become your new normal.
For you are the miracle. You are the magic. You are the divine creative force that shapes worlds. And with this understanding, there is truly nothing you cannot achieve. The world is yours. Go forth and create the life of your dreams, for it is already yours in the only place that truly matters, in the realm of pure consciousness, where all creation begins.